20 minutes of sleep will not give you anything, so let's make the most of it. For a quick start, my name is Maxim. I'm from Russia, but I live in Spain, so consider me Spanish, Russian, does not matter. At this moment, I have a complete Russian education in senior school, and I have finished my first year in the senior school, which is an equivalent of year 12 in British system. So, provided I have only 5 minutes to speak to you, I'm not going to say anything scientific or academic. The information, if I used it, would be accessible to you anyways. You can go on the internet, read it on Instagram, or Twitter, whatever. So what I want to do, I want to share an experience, something I've seen with my eyes, something I've touched with my hands. So it's going to be something really, really unique and really personal. So if you pay attention, I'm going to be really pleased. The gentleman at the back. So in these 5 minutes, what I have to do is give you a transit into the life of a normal day-to-day surgeon. Into those 5 minutes, into that little episode which turned my life over completely. Let's be honest about this. So before I really continue, let's make it a little bit interactive. Does anyone here mind if I speak about burnt limbs, about damages, about blood, about misery? Any objection to this? No. Are we sure? Let's go into the hardcore then. So, as part of my summer experience, which was happening in Russia, in a children's hospital, I emphasize it's a children's hospital, I was working in an operative unit, so basically I was operating children. No, it sounds dodgy, but no, there was a surgeon in front of me, and I was his, what is called a second hand. So whatever I did, whatever he did, I did. Whatever he made a joke about, I had to laugh at it. Whatever he messes up, I'm like, oh no, of course you've done it right. That's the level. You can expect nothing more, because put it this way, the person who stands in front of you has been studying for 12 years. He has the knowledge and he has every single right to absolutely despise you. So be ready for that as well. So that's not the real focus of the story. As a part of my program as well, my experience as well, I was on an intensive care unit. That is a place for very, very bad children. Like they are outrageously in critical conditions. So the same day as I went to the hospital, there was that boy, his name is Victor. If you want to imagine Victor, you imagine me, 2 years younger, but of the same complexion. So technically he was this height about, same body type. And the problem with him was he was in a sauna with his family and the boiler exploded right into him. So he did the major impact. So imagine the heat, the pressure, maybe some bits of iron, I'm not sure. And he was in that state of an aftershock that he ran outside. So now portray, he's burned, he's damaged, he runs outside. So by the moment he realizes what he has done, his feet are technically gone, more or less. So walking for him wouldn't be an option in the long term. In order to go to sleep in the hospital, he had to take morphine, a very powerful drug. It used to be legal in the 19th century. It does not matter now. So in the whole dry facts, 60% of his body was gone, like more or less gone. He was still alive, needs to be said. So, and that was the very day I come into the intensive care unit, being all confident, wearing the white fancy outfit, with the gloves, with a broad smile, like, yeah, confidence, I'm in the hospital, I get to do stuff. Then I enter, look on my left, and there is a girl. She's 1 year old, she has no lungs. Doesn't it sound funny anymore? And at that very instance, I looked at her and learned what happened to her. My smile kind of melted away. If you think that doing medicine or surgery is fun, no, it isn't. It is far from it. It is very tragic. It is very sad. It is frustrating. It is difficult and stressful, but let's not go into that yet. So, as I entered, Victor was on my right. He was tied to his bed, hands, legs, and by the moment I entered, he was probably half conscious, half unconscious. I wouldn't be able to judge. The point being is I didn't really understand what was happening. And of course I was in that state of emotion that I couldn't force like anything productive. So what I did this. I did this gesture to him. It was simple, effective, he probably understood it. Like, you're gonna be okay, buddy, you're gonna be fine, we're gonna fix you up. He passes out. So, because he chose the hardcore version, I'm gonna go into further detail how it worked. So it was 50 minutes of me, this height, and this height surgeons trying to solve it out. We're three, like, more or less fit men. It was tedious. So, because he was in our hands and he was all burned, like the cork on top of his blood kept sweeping away, so he was staining us consistently. It was difficult to rotate, difficult to put bandages on. It was just 50 minutes. It doesn't sound serious like those 8-hour operations, but that was absolutely terrifying. So by the end of that, I was completely worn out. I was taking off my gloves, really reconsidering my life in general, like why would I do this? But at the same time, with the corner of my ear, I hear that the nurses try to settle Victor down. He's like, lay down, you're fine, it's all over. So when I kind of half conscious as well, turning around. So what he is doing is, his head is not tight anymore, so he can lift it, and one of his hands went loose a little bit. So imagine, I'm turning around, I'm standing in the far distance, and just before I managed to open my mouth, he, in like half unconscious state, very, very feebly raises his left hand and does this. Do you see where I'm coming from to? If you understand what I have felt that day, I probably don't need to explain anything. That was the decisive moment. For those of you who reconsider it, like, no, I've seen it soap operas, it's good, it's cool, it looks nice, cute. It isn't cute. It isn't cute at all. The very first thing I thought about as soon as I witnessed it is, imagine, that was just one episode, just one my experience. A surgeon gets to do it 5 times a day, 10 times a day, 20 times a day, any time of the day. So he is, in a sense, bringing wonders to those children's life. It is not as visible in older children, but if you go to like 1 year, 2 years, they actually give them hope. They give them an ability to live again, live them some kind of second chance. We all were born perfect. We had a normal head start, but then those children weren't. They had some kind of a defect to them. They had something that didn't allow them to live just like us. Say, Victor is 2 years younger than me. Imagine yourself in that age, and you would be burned, and you wouldn't be able to walk. You wouldn't come to Oxford. You wouldn't make friends. You wouldn't see me here. See? And that came down all to just 6 pairs of hands, which did it. I'm not being snobbish and saying that surgeons, oh my God, they're gods, they can fix lives and do something inspiring. What I'm trying to propagate is they give second chance. They allow it to happen. And on the last day as I was leaving, the message I'm trying to get to was reinforced. So the last day I'm leaving the hospital, I'm like more or less experienced, I'm not that like cocky anymore, as we say. And I walk into Victor's room, I'm like, yeah, Victor, I'm leaving, have fun, you're gonna be good, la 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 la. And I see my fitness coach. Like, what are you doing here? No, what are you doing here? So apparently she turned out to be Victor's sister. And you see this circle of kindness, which is kind of generic, closing down. I worked my best, I toiled, I enjoyed it, I tried to do my best to help him, and that kindness paid back. I got to know the person I knew previously in a new light. We get better friends, but that again is not the focus of my story. What I try to say, I was there when he first started walking. So imagine, you've been here with him for 2 weeks, you've seen him suffering, you've seen him going through pretty difficult days, and then, because of what you did, because of effort you've put in, you gave him second chance. He started walking, as I saw it. So I was leaving, he's like, no, I'm gonna stand up and shake your hand, and he stood up and shook my hand. I haven't mentioned that in the previous talk to make this one more interesting, but that happened, I promise you. So, if there is any kind of message you would want me to evaluate, I would like to say, get involved. Whether it is something you're considering, whether you're thinking, I like it, I don't like it, I don't know, does not matter. Get involved, do it, try it. So do, don't speak. Thank you.